One of the biggest surprises for a lot of people when they move out here is how different the driveways can be. In many parts of the country, driveway is just a short, flat stretch of cement, easy to get to no matter what. But in Western North Carolina, it can be a long, windy, gravel, or significantly steeper than you are used to. Western North Carolina has excellent internet in many areas, but not everywhere. A neighborhood just 5 minutes away might have fiber optic cable, super fast internet, while other areas might still rely on slower options or a fixed wireless system. If you're coming from a larger city, there's a good chance you've never actually had to deal with a septic system or a well before. They're incredibly common, and they're not something to fear. Many septic systems function great throughout decades with proper care. The key is understanding what you're buying. Moving to Western North Carolina is incredibly exciting. You have mountain views, 4 distinct seasons, small town charm depending on where you're looking, incredible hiking, local restaurants. It's easy to see why so many people are wanting to make the move to Western North Carolina. But after seeing a lot of buyers and helping a lot of people relocate, there's some things I've noticed that is a little bit interesting. The mistakes that people make whenever they're moving here isn't so much about picking the wrong house. It's more on the lines of really not understanding mountain living. I've seen buyers fall in love with a house only to realize later that they hate the driveway. I've seen people think that they could get high-speed internet when they're working remote, only to find out that they can't. And I've also seen people never consider a septic system, whether or not they're on a private road, potential wells, or flood risks depending on where they're living. And it's just because those weren't things they had to worry about where they came from. Now, good news here, almost all of these mistakes are easy to fix and avoidable if you know what you're looking for. So today I am going to be sharing the top 10 biggest mistakes I see people make whenever they are looking to move to the mountains, specifically the mountains of Western North Carolina. For those of you that don't already know, my name is Dylan Slattery and I'm your Western North Carolina realtor. I grew up in these mountains, so they hold a special place in my heart. And I've seen all of the challenges that can come with living in the mountains. So I want to share those with you now. This is something that you're just seeing for the first time. Go ahead, like, subscribe, follow along. We come out with more content every single week on everything Western North Carolina. Now let's learn a little bit about the biggest mistakes I see people typically make coming to the mountains. Mistake number 1, don't think that mountain roads and city streets are the same thing. I always tell people, don't judge a home by its location, talking distance and mileage, judge it by the drive. On paper, a house might be only 12 miles from downtown Asheville, and in a flat city, you're looking at about 12 to 15 minutes. It sounds like a pretty quick trip. But in the mountains, depending on where you are, those 12 miles might take 25 to 30 minutes because of winding roads, elevation changes, and a slower speed limit overall. Then there's weather involved. A road that's perfectly enjoyable in July might take a different turn in November rains or even after a light snowfall, especially if that is a north-facing road. Roads that face north usually stay wet and icy longer because they receive less direct sunlight. That's the reason that most ski resorts are north-facing slopes when they're on a mountain. Another thing to consider is you're driving behind the wheel. Now, some people love the curvy mountain roads, and it is one of the highlights of their day being able to get out there and enjoy the drive. To others, they find out afterwards that those tight curves actually create a lot of stress, and it does take some time to get used to. Now, what you can do with that is drive the road at different times during the day. Test it in daylight and after dark if that is an option for you. If you're going to be commuting to work or shopping or school, trying out what time of day you would typically be commuting or driving might not be a bad idea to figure out the amount of traffic, how long it would take you to get where you're trying to go, and if you even enjoy the commute. Mistake number 2, falling in love with the view before seeing the driveway. One of the biggest surprises for a lot of people when they move out here is how different the driveways can be. And in many parts of the country, driveway is just a short, flat stretch of cement, easy to get to no matter what. But in Western North Carolina, it can be a long, windy, gravel, or significantly steeper than you are used to. I actually went to a showing a couple of days ago and my car could not get up the driveway. I actually had to stop at the bottom and walk up. So it does happen from time to time. But typically you'll find that when there is an amazing view with the home. Now, the beautiful mountain home with the panoramic view, it may have a driveway that requires some confidence to get up. Even if it's not gravel, you want to make sure that you can navigate it in heavy rain or winter weather. A lot of times what you'll find out here, if there's a steep road or a steep driveway getting up to your house, people might park at the bottom and walk up just to make sure that they have an egress if needed. Now, steeper driveways aren't automatically a deal breaker. That is something to definitely know about. They're just something that you should experience firsthand so that you know what you're getting into and if it's something you feel comfortable with. Some buyers have absolutely no issue with it, especially when they have a four-wheel drive car. Others, they want to make sure that they have easy access to their house no matter what is going on, and they just don't feel as comfortable on gravel roads or steeper, long driveways that you might find in certain areas of Western North Carolina. I always encourage buyers to drive in, back out, just kind of imagine doing it in the dark or after a long day at work and see how it feels for you. If family members are going to be visiting too, ask yourself if they're going to be able to handle that driveway or if it's something you might want to consider warning them about or come up with a separate option for. Mistake number 3, assuming that high-speed internet is everywhere. This surprises most people, actually. Western North Carolina has excellent internet in many areas, but not everywhere. A neighborhood just 5 minutes away might have fiber optic cable, super fast internet, while other areas might still rely on slower options or a fixed wireless system. If you work remotely, attend virtual meetings, homeschool, or maybe you just stream a lot during the day, internet availability should be one of the first things that you check into, not the last. Don't rely on a listing that just says internet available. You want to find out what kind of internet you're working with, what the provider is, available speed, and whether those speeds meet your needs. The difference between reliable fiber and limited rural service can dramatically change your day-to-day experiences. Now, benefit there, in today's day and age, there are a lot of options for internet providers and what you can and cannot do. So even though you might not have fiber, there is satellite internet available. Just make sure that you got the right location for it. And always check in if that's something that is going to be important to your day-to-day life. Number 4, not understanding septic systems and wells. If you're coming from a larger city, there's a good chance you've never actually had to deal with a septic system or a well before. They're incredibly common, and they're not something to fear. Many septic systems function great throughout decades with proper care. The key is understanding what you're buying. Always have the septic system inspected and review the maintenance records if they're available. Verify the number of bedrooms that the system is actually permitted for, because it might be different than what the house represents. For instance, if you see a house that's listed as a 3-bed, 2-bath, and then you go into the home and say, hey, there's actually 4 or 5 bedrooms in here, well, that's because the septic system is only permitted to handle the amount of occupants for 3 bedrooms. What that does with the listing, they'll list the other ones as bonus rooms or home offices. So it's something to be aware of, but any good realtor will be able to guide you there as well. For wells, always ask about water quality, flow rate, and any filtration systems that might already be installed, because you're going to be having to change out those filters as time goes on. You want to make sure you got good water that you're drinking and a good heavy flow so that you can enjoy the shower water pressure. These aren't unusual features in the mountains. They're just simple part of rural home ownership. Mistake number 5, ignoring flood zones because we're in the mountains. This is probably the biggest misconception I hear, although after Helene, it is something we are hearing a lot less throughout. People assume that just because we're in the mountains, flooding isn't something they really need to think about. The reality is a little bit more nuanced than that though. Many mountain communities are actually built along the rivers because historically, where roads and rail lines and towns developed were along river systems. Most properties are nowhere near flood-prone areas at this point, but some neighborhoods have homes that sit within designated floodplains. It's always important to have your realtor or for yourself to review the floodplain map and make sure you're in a good spot. Events like Hurricane Helene reminded everyone that mountain flooding, while rare, can be significant under the right conditions. That doesn't mean that you should avoid the area entirely. It just means that you should understand the property's flood history, check any FEMA maps that are available, and ask your insurance agent how the location affects coverage, because that is going to be a definite question for your homeowner's insurance agent. Knowledge, not fear, is what helps you make some smart decisions here. Mistake number 6, assuming every HOA is the same. Homeowners associations vary tremendously here. Every neighborhood has their own kind of thing depending on where you are. Some simply maintain entrance signs and common landscaping. Others regulate everything from exterior paint colors to short-term rental rules, fences, RV parking, and even types of mailboxes you can install on your own property. So you want to make sure you know what you're getting into before you're in it. Mountain communities might also have road maintenance agreements, architectural review boards, or shared amenities that you have to help maintain, like trails or clubhouses throughout the area. So before you fall in love with a neighborhood, read the HOA documents carefully. Your realtor can get those for you if you have any interest in a home. Understand the do's, the rules, and any upcoming assessments that might affect you if you purchase that home. The right HOA can do amazing wonders to help protect your home value. The wrong one for your lifestyle could be a huge source of frustration. And I think we all know someone that has a terrible HOA story, while we probably also know someone who loves where they live because the HOA just makes life a little bit easier. Mistake number 7, understanding the ongoing property maintenance that the mountains require. Living in the mountains comes with incredible scenery, but it also involves a little bit more maintenance on your home. Trees may need to be trimmed to protect your roof or your view. Leaves accumulate really quickly in fall because you've got trees everywhere. Steep lots might require a little bit of erosion control to make sure that you still have as much land as you started with. Gravel driveways do need occasional grooming and to have some extra gravel put in every now and then to avoid potholes, especially after some heavy rain. And homes surrounded by forests can require more regular gutter cleaning than suburban homes elsewhere. None of this is overwhelming, but it is things to consider if you want to do it or if you want to hire someone to do the work for you. You want to factor that into your purchase and what you want your lifestyle to look like. Mistake number 8, and this is the biggest one. If you've watched this channel for any amount of time, you will have heard over and over and over, but focusing only on the house instead of the lifestyle. I've watched buyers fall in love with a home only to figure out 6 months to a year later that they just don't like where it's located. Ask yourself before you move somewhere, is that where you want to spend your weekends? If you're not wanting to spend your weekends in your own community, let's look at a different community for you. Do you want to walk to a restaurant and coffee shops? West Asheville or downtown might be the right area. Do you want privacy, acreage, mountain views? Let's look at Fairview, Riceville, or parts of Candler. Make sure we're getting the right spot there. Would you have a newer neighborhood close to shopping and the airport? South Asheville would probably make a lot of sense for you. Lifestyle often matters more than the floor plan. Once we figure out where you want to live, we can find the right house for you. But let's focus on where you want to spend your days and your weekends, and we can build out from there. Mistake number 9, not thinking about insurance costs. Insurance coverage in Western North Carolina is not a one-size-fits-all system. Factors like elevation, access roads, wildfire risk, distance to a fire station, roof age, and flood zone designation all have an impact in your premiums. And that's why I recommend getting an insurance quote early in the buying process, not after you're already emotionally invested in a property. You want to find out what you're looking at and factor that into your mortgage payments. Sometimes 2 homes with very similar prices have noticeably different insurance costs based on their location and features. So be aware of that whenever you're looking. Mistake number 10, waiting too long to explore the area in person. My biggest piece of advice is pretty simple. Spend time here. Drive the neighborhoods, walk the streets, visit the grocery stores, try the restaurants, take the commute, walk downtown, explore it on a weekday and on a weekend to make sure this is the right area and the right location for you. Pictures can show you a house, videos can show you a neighborhood, but only time spent here will show you how you feel being in the location. The buyers are the happiest whenever they are here already, they know they want to be here, and they fell in love with the lifestyle first and the house second. If you come into this process informed, which is exactly what you're starting to do right now, you'll be able to enjoy the views, the outdoor lifestyle, and the incredible communities that make Western North Carolina such an amazing place to live. If you're thinking about making a move to Western North Carolina, and since you're on this channel, I'm thinking you probably are, I would love to help you find the right location. Go ahead down in the description. All of my contact information is there because every day I hear from people just like you that want to make Western North Carolina their new home. If you are already in North Carolina, or maybe you're just liking learning about Western North Carolina, I'd love to hear from you as well. Go ahead down in the comments. You could just say hi or tell me your favorite thing that you might have learned moving here, something that was a surprise that you now love, or whatever it might be. I would love to hear from you. While you're there, go ahead, like, follow, subscribe so you can be aware when we've got the next video coming out. Until next time, I'm Dylan Slattery.